Epstein Barr has caused a lot of problems in a lot of people's lives for a lot of years. Untold suffering, decade after decade after decade, you guys. Thyroid conditions, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, Graves' disease, right? That's just a few. Eczema. How many people suffered and still suffer today from eczema? Vitiligo, right? That's not a fun one to have. Not at all. Psoriasis. Another one that's not a fun one. Lupus, multiple sclerosis. How many people suffered with symptoms that led to an MS diagnosis? And how many people suffered from neurological Lyme for so many years? We're talking go back all the way 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and the untold suffering of people with Lyme disease is just unbelievable. Epstein Barr has caused a lot of damage along the way. And it's really, really toppled a lot of people over. Their lives changed the course of their lives. Relationships broke up because of Epstein Barr. Marriages broke up because of Epstein Barr. Okay, tragedies happen in people's lives because of Epstein Barr. People lost their jobs and their careers because of Epstein Barr. People lose their chance to go to college and university because of Epstein Barr. People lose friends because of Epstein Barr and don't even know it, and nobody knows it's because of Epstein Barr. Epstein Barr has literally raped and pillaged and destroyed and damaged a lot of lives along the way, and science research just sat there like, we don't know why anybody's sick. It's the body attacking itself. We don't know why. Nobody knows why anybody's sick. And meanwhile, people have fibromyalgia with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, with raging eczema, with a lupus diagnosis, with a neurological diagnosis, neurological Lyme diagnosis later, with restless leg syndrome, with unexplained migraines. The list goes on, you guys. And if that's not enough, all the fibroids are created by Epstein Barr, you guys. All the endometriosis and the fibroids and the ovarian cysts. And then the cancers. The cancers, all the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, all the different lymphomas, right? All the different reproductive cancers, all of that. I mean, so what happens is Epstein Barr has literally created so many problems for so many years. We're talking about Epstein Barr live right now, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Rumble, live on TikTok, live on Telegram. It's good to see you guys. We're talking about how to battle Epstein Barr, like how to take it down. How to take it down. You know, I'm going to give you a little disclaimer right now, okay? Here's the little disclaimer, okay? I was told and I was screamed at. I was yelled at. Articles were written about me over and over again, making fun of me because I was the Epstein Barr guy. Epstein Barr, what does that have to do with anything? What does Epstein Barr ever have to do with anything? That guy's not a doctor. He's not a licensed professional. That guy's nobody. Why does he keep on talking about Epstein Barr year after year? Why does he put all these books about Epstein Barr out? Like, what is this? Epstein Barr Epstein Barr causes everything? Epstein Barr is the cause of everything and why everybody's sick? Oh, he's the Epstein Barr guy. He's so wrong. He doesn't know anything. Oh, he's really dumb. Ah, he's crazy too. Epstein Barr. And guess what? When you used to look up in the past, anybody would look up what causes this disease. What causes Guillain-Barré? What causes fibromyalgia? What causes this in autoimmune? What causes this? And all you saw years ago when you would look it up, the clinics would post on the internet what they thought would cause all these diseases. And it always said the same thing. Cause unknown. Cause unknown. Or we think the body is attacking itself or genetic. Well, guess what? Post medical medium books, the internet has changed everything. All the major clinics without any evidence or data or any kind of evidence on any level, which because they have now taken all the diseases, all the major clinics, and they've taken medical medium information that Epstein Barr could be causing all the different conditions like fibro and Hashimoto's and Guillain-Barré and multiple sclerosis and all these things. And I thought I was the crazy Epstein Barr guy that nobody would think was legit or something. They still don't have it totally right because they say Epstein Barr's a trigger or linked to, because they can't go all the way. Because if they go all the way, they're going to discredit the whole body attacking itself theory, which is grandfathered in, and you can't go against that theory if you're a doctor, a practitioner, or a clinic. But the clinics took published medical medium information. All the clinics, the major clinics now in the world, have poached and taken medical medium documented information, medical medium publication material that was all pre any of it, and they've rewritten history now on the internet. Medical medium brought up the whole thing about the plague creating reactivated Epstein-Barr. Well, they took that too after the fact, after it was published. So here I am, the Epstein-Barr guy. Articles out there, lots of articles about the medical medium ripping me down and tearing me apart and telling me that I didn't know what I was talking about and I'm not a really smart guy because I'm just a medium or a psychic or something, and he doesn't know anything about Epstein-Barr. Then how come the major clinics, you know, the one like mayonnaise, you know, like the mayonnaise clinic, right? You guys know the mayonnaise clinic? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So the mayonnaise clinic has now rechanged everything with no science behind it. They have no studies that show an Epstein-Barr bug actually doing anything. And the mayonnaise clinic now has literally, because all the functional medicine doctors that work alongside the conventional doctors in the mayonnaise clinic, they literally take the medical medium Epstein-Barr information and they rewrite it the way they want to see it, but they take it all. And it's kind of crazy how it works when you think about it. Little old me, this little old medium guy that's just not important in the world and has never done anything for anybody and whatever. These big clinics with billions of dollars behind it, for some reason, all their doctors have to and the researchers have to go to medical medium books. And they actually have to take it out of here and put it on the internet. So we're talking about the 4 stages of Epstein-Barr. That's where we're at right now. And it's not just mono. It's not just mono we're talking about, right? We're talking about Epstein-Barr, which, yes, puts you into a mononucleosis state. We're going into that a little bit. Good to see you guys. We're live right now. This is a fun day. We're going into EBV. We got some information. We're going to talk about how EBV works inside the body. We're going to talk about what EBV feeds on. We're going to talk about how to destroy and kill EBV. How about that too? We're going to talk about how to annihilate EBV so EBV doesn't ruin your life or ruin your life down the road. It's pretty simple. You can come into this world with Epstein-Barr, right? You can come into this world with Epstein-Barr, and you can leave this world with Epstein-Barr, okay? You can come into the world with Epstein-Barr, and you can leave this world with Epstein-Barr. That's how it works. In the womb, you can contract Epstein-Barr. It's where a lot of people contract it from their parents, and then we can die down the road, many, many years down the road, suffering from Epstein-Barr. Or you can contract Epstein-Barr and annihilate it and kill it. And that's what you want to do. You want to break it down, destroy it, and that's what you want to do. Okay? Deanne says you are just trying to make money. Well, I hope you're talking about somebody else, because you can get the book free at the library. So, Deanne, I just want to give you a recommendation. Can you go to the library and get the book for free and help somebody and stop being kind of like a jerk and actually help somebody and maybe save a life? Unless that wasn't for me and that was for somebody else. That could have been for somebody else, Deanne. And if that's for somebody else, I'm totally grateful for you. Epstein-Barr, okay, in stage 1, you contract Epstein-Barr, right? In stage 1. It sits in your body and floats around is what it does. So when you first get your first Epstein-Barr, like you kiss somebody and you end up getting Epstein-Barr, or you kiss somebody, or you're on a public toilet seat and you pick up Epstein-Barr, you're in a restaurant and a chef cuts their finger and bleeds in your food and you catch 2 Epstein-Barrs. You can catch 2 Epstein-Barr varieties in one shot just from a chef cutting their finger in the restaurant, right? So you get your first Epstein-Barr or your second Epstein-Barr. It sits in your body and it floats around, and it could float around for a long time, 6 months, 2 months, a year, 2 days. It can go into mononucleosis within 2 days. It can go into mononucleosis 6 years from now. It can go into mono 10 years from now, but it can float around. And what happens is it floats around until you have a weak spot. And that weak spot could be anything: trauma, an emotional hardship, a divorce, a breakup, a friendship, a relationship, a fight with a coworker, stress, financial stress, whatever it is. And then you break your immune system starts to weaken and break down and break down and break down. And when it starts to break down, we get in trouble. You guys see a bunch of supplements in the front. And someone might say, hey, look, what's he trying to do? I'm not sponsored by the companies. And I purchased these. I purchased them. So these I bought and paid for. And I'm not sponsored. So the point is here, I want to just get that on the table right now before someone thinks, is he just trying to do a sales pitch today, right? And the books, they're so marked so low on Amazon right now, so low. It's like ridiculous. So I'm just letting you know, which is actually I love that they mark it so low. I want people to get it at the cheapest price they possibly can. So we're on Epstein-Barr right now, you guys. Four stages of Epstein-Barr we're talking about. We contract and catch mono. It sits in us, and then our immune system breaks down when we have some kind of trauma or maybe exposure. Any kind of exposure, chemical exposure, breaks down the immune system, right? Scented candles with fragrances breaks down the immune system. So any kind of exposure, pharmaceuticals break down the immune system right there, okay? When it breaks down the immune system, at the same time, it can also feed the Epstein-Barr virus, right? So it can also feed it. So the virus loves to eat things. It loves to eat perfumes, colognes, chemicals and perfumes, colognes, chemicals and scented candles. It loves to eat, I'm giving you a rundown, it loves to eat metals and pharmaceuticals. It loves to eat copper. Copper. You're drinking out of copper thermoses, you're going to feed your Epstein-Barr, and you will guarantee eczema and psoriasis down the road. If you want 100% guarantee to get eczema and psoriasis down the road, I promise you this, and you can just be like, whoa, I don't need his crap. I don't need to hear it. I'm going to leave. I don't want to hear this guy telling me I'm going to have eczema just because I drink out of copper thermoses, but you will. You will, and you'll remember this day. Because if you're drinking out of copper devices, what's going to happen is whatever EBV inside of you is going to feed off of that copper, and you're going to have Epstein-Barr symptoms down the road, like eczema and psoriasis. This is an important day right here to talk about this because people don't realize the suffering that's happening out there. You guys know, but the suffering's unreal to how many conditions and symptoms and autoimmune diseases and neurological symptoms are growing at a rate no one can even keep their finger on. No one can even keep the pulse on. Like, I'm serious, you guys. It's no joke out there. Multiple sclerosis, RA, eczema, psoriasis. Do I need to say more? Lupus. Do I need to say more, right? Fibromyalgia, right? Do I need to say more? All these different conditions. Anything with autoimmune, you got the EBV behind it. You got an autoimmune label, you got the Epstein-Barr behind it. Neurological Lyme, you got the Epstein-Barr behind it. And yeah, you can just say, hey, I don't have to listen to him, that's fine. But when you're really sick and you're down on your knees and you're finally praying to God, because now you're so sick, you're just praying to God like, oh my God, I'm not just sick, I'm actually so sick. You got the information to fall back on. It's here, right? The information is here. If you just came on and you're wondering, well, what does he know? Well, the clinics all around the country and the world are taking medical medium information about Epstein-Barr published here first, and now they've rewritten history on the internet, and they're attaching Epstein-Barr to everything. Meanwhile, I was laughed at for years for being the Epstein-Barr guy by naysayers and haters. So we're about saving lives. Medical Medium New Edition is right here. This book has saved a lot of lives over the years. It's well known for that, which is incredible. And a lot of doctors use the information all around the country and around the world. So let's go a little bit into this. How does Epstein-Barr work? Stage 1, it goes in you. When your immune system gets broken down, it goes into stage 2. Mononucleosis. Mononucleosis is stage 2, is what it is, you guys. That's what happens right there. Stage 2 is mononucleosis. And so when you're in mononucleosis, your immune system is battling. So now your immune system is at war right here. So keep that in mind. So your white blood cells are at war with your invader. So you got the invader and you got your white blood cell. That's mononucleosis right there. You don't think you had mono, but all you had to do was have a scratchy throat and feel under the weather. That's all. You may think you didn't have mononucleosis, but in college you might have been sick for 2 weeks with what seemed to be like a cold and you were coughing and all phlegmy and not feeling good and tired. That was mono. Mono, it comes in so many different ways. It doesn't mean it's a serious mono where you're sick for 3 months with mono or 6 months, because many people are sick with mono for 3 months, 6 months, 2 months, 8 months. You can just be sick with mono for just a week, but you had your mono and your immune system went into war with the variety of Epstein Barr that you've been infected with. After we're infected with the Epstein Barr and we went into war, your immune system eventually overcomes and it pushes Epstein Barr away. Epstein Barr doesn't leave the body. It stays in your body and then it enters into your organs. Now, what Epstein Barr likes to do is it likes to head into the liver. That's the number one place Epstein Barr likes to go. It's the liver. So keep that in mind right there. Epstein Barr loves the liver. After mononucleosis, stage 2, it goes into the liver and it camps out and hides out. But it also can go into the spleen. Not only can it go into the spleen, but it can go into the reproductive system too. So keep that in mind as well. Epstein Barr likes to go into the reproductive system. So it heads into the uterus. It heads into the ovaries. And now we have PCOS. So Epstein Barr starts to cause problems like PCOS, endometriosis, and fibroids because after stage 2 mononucleosis, it camped out in the reproductive system, spleen, and liver. That's where it likes to be. As the time goes by, it could be years, it could be months, depending on how low your immune system. It could be years that go by. Maybe it's even a decade that goes by. Something happens. And Epstein Barr ends up proliferating. It could have been proliferating because it's actually feeding off of chemicals. It could be growing in numbers because it's feeding off of all different kinds of exposures. It could be growing in numbers because you were told to eat a really healthy egg diet. And so when we're told that, look, you need to be on eggs, that's what you need to be doing. You think you're doing the right things. And then the Epstein Barr feeds off of the eggs. Every time you're eating the eggs, it feeds off the eggs. And then out of nowhere, a relationship problem happens. Something occurs. Your life gets toppled a little bit emotionally. And between the bad foods that feed the virus plus the emotional things that are happening, you end up having another bout of mono, but it doesn't feel like that. The virus takes advantage of a lowered immune system and starts to head to where? To your thyroid. Now you're a candidate for down the road to have hypothyroidism. So now you're at your functional medicine doctor's office, your regular doctor's office, or your naturopathic doctor's office. He's running some tests. She's running some tests, and she's like, hey, I think you might have hypothyroid. I think you might have Hashimoto's. What no one realizes, that was actually Epstein Barr. It got into the thyroid and it created hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism. It created Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Hey, you might actually have a cyst on your thyroid. You might actually have a little tumor on your thyroid. You might have a nodule on your thyroid. No one realizes that's the Epstein Barr. See how it works, you guys? So now we're in stage 3. Stage 3 of Epstein-Barr virus is your thyroid. That's when the thyroid conditions can happen, and they may be overlooked completely by your doctor because you can have a hypothyroid problem and it not even be detectable. So many doctors know that now. They're learning that now. This is all medical medium information. This isn't me researching stuff. So if you hear copycats out there in research papers, they've taken it from here or books or wherever or people on the internet. This has always been medical medium information since I was 5 years old. And it hasn't changed. It's always been consistent and not contradictive. So the whole point is here, we're in stage 3 of Epstein Barr. So you guys on Telegram, it's good to see you guys on TikTok. Glad you guys are here too on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. So stage 3 of Epstein Barr is when the Epstein Barr sits inside the thyroid, camps out, and creates eventually hypothyroidism, Graves, right? Cysts, nodules, tumors, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. But you may not even see the numbers yet. It takes years sometimes for Epstein Barr just to sit into that thyroid. But here's the next problem. The next problem is it sits in your thyroid. It starts to break down your immune health more and more as time goes on, and we get more and more exposure. So now we're in stage 3 Epstein Barr. And we're eating more eggs, and now what's what we're doing because we're taught to eat more eggs. Yachoda's Healing says so much stolen medical medium information out there, but then they want to use it to point people to their crappy products or their pharmaceuticals or their fake genetic theories. It wasn't like this 5 years ago, Yachoda. It's turned into an insanity out there. Everybody's using medical medium info that was published and documented by Medical Medium first. They're all using it. Every influencers are using it. They're actually writing things, posts about it out there, and never anyone's even saying where it comes from. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Everybody's trying to sell something. I have respect for that. I mean, anybody wants to do whatever they want to do. I'm not to judge them. I can't judge anybody. But I will say this. They're just doing people who are sick of misjustice, because what happens is when you're sick and can't find your way back to know where the information is, then how are you going to heal? They're going to say, oh, you got Epstein Barr. Oh, really? I do? I finally have an answer? What do I need to do? You need to do charcoal. Okay, let me take all this charcoal. And then you get sick and you die in 5 years or 8 years, or you get so sick you can't function. Wait a minute, I have Epstein Barr. What do I need to do? Apple cider vinegar? Okay, great. You gave me the answer. It's Epstein Barr. Let me take all this apple cider vinegar or some other crappy product. So what happens is people end up getting totally taken because they don't know where the information comes from. And then I care because the suffering's right out there. So in stage 3 Epstein Barr, when the Epstein Barr virus is in the thyroid, what happens, you guys, is that the immune system can break down again. We can go through a divorce. We can go through a relationship breakup. We can go through a great loss. We can go through a lot of stress. We can go through some hard struggles. Everybody goes through a bunch of stuff, right? Or we're getting exposed. We're getting so exposed by so many toxic chemicals. We're getting more metals in us. We're getting more metals than ever before. We're eating lots of tuna. We're getting whatever it is that's happening, we're getting exposed. We're told to have fish oil capsules, right? And we're getting exposed. So what happens is eventually your immune system cracks. Maybe the last ticket, the last problem that was created, maybe the last problem that, like the straw that broke the camel's back, maybe the straw that broke the camel's back was here you are, your immune system was weakening, you're 40 years old, you're 35 years old, your immune system is weakening, right? And then, all of a sudden, you think you got a tick bite or something. Because you're so sick, you're getting neurological symptoms. And the neurological symptoms are getting worse. So now you're at a specialist, now you're at a neurologist, now that you're at another doctor, but you don't know it, what you have instead of Lyme disease. For some reason, it won't stay up there today. Instead of Lyme disease, you have Epstein Barr. That's what you have. You got the EBV. The tick is the trigger, but there's a lot of other triggers. Maybe a divorce was a trigger. Maybe a car accident was a trigger. Maybe a stressful car accident was a trigger. Maybe the loss of a loved one was a trigger. Maybe something else was a trigger. Maybe a bee sting was a trigger. Maybe something was a trigger. The tick can be a trigger because it knocks the immune system lower, and then the Epstein Barr that's been sitting in your thyroid in stage 3 goes to stage 4. What people don't realize is that the majority of people walking around with neurological conditions and symptoms are stage 4 EBV. They're stage 4. Stage 4 EBV is not like stage 4 cancer. It's stage 4 EBV. What that means is it hit the nervous system. Epstein Barr leaves the thyroid, you guys on TikTok. It leaves the thyroid, when your immune system is broken down and it heads to the nerves. Which nerves? The vagus nerves. So let's go into this a little bit. One of the places, and you'll be mind blown with this. One of the places that Epstein Barr heads is the nerve channel in the ear. So stage 4 Epstein Barr means the bug will go into the inner ear. And when it goes into the inner ear, it affects the nerve channel in the inner ear. And then you get tinnitus and ringing in the ears. How many people do you know have the popping, fluttering, buzzing, hissing, poofing sound and ringing sound and vibrating sound in the ear? And they have all these problems with their tinnitus and everything else, right? That's from Epstein-Barr bug. That's what it is. That's stage 4 EB bug. I have to use that term. Okay? I talk about that in the first book, right? So, look, you guys, if you're hanging on for this show, we're doing the 4 stages of Epstein-Barr. Check out Medical Medium New Edition or Cleanse to Heal and learn about it. It's really in detail here too. Okay? That's on Amazon. It's a great gift for people, you know, if they're sick. If you got the ringing in the ear, you got the tinnitus, or get it free at the library. Get it free at the library. You got the tinnitus and the ringing in the ear. You got the bug. That's stage 4 bug. Another place it goes is in the vagus nerves. So the EBV bug goes into the vagus nerves. When it goes there, you got the vertigo, the dizziness, the vertigo, the feeling of being on a boat, the rocking on a boat. You got all that. And on top of that, Epstein-Barr can create anxiety because of the phrenic and vagus nerves get inflamed. They swell. So when the vagus nerves and the phrenic nerves swell, you guys, you get the balance problems. You get the vertigo. You get the feeling on a boat. You get the dizziness. You get the anxiety. This is medical medium information about anxiety. And now you see out there, Epstein-Barr causes anxiety. Someone wrote about something. Oh, really? Because there's no science that shows it, and it was published here first. Or Epstein-Barr has something to do with vagus nerves. Vagus nerves, when they swell up, you end up getting the anxiety. So what happens is the virus in stage 4 releases neurotoxins. The neurotoxins go to the vagus nerves, swell them up, and you end up with anxiety. That's why people have the panic attacks. That's why people can't hit. They got the panic attacks. They're sweating profusely. They're nervous. They feel like they got to run around. They can't handle it. They can't sit still. Or they're just trapped with their stomach flipping the whole bit. And the fact that they're even trying to link the vagus nerves to anxiety, that's medical medium information originally. So we're in stage 4 Epstein-Barr right now. Epstein-Barr can create tinnitus, ringing in the ear when it's in stage 4. It can create vertigo and dizziness when it's in stage 4, you guys. It can create a lot of problems. And what happens is, as we get older, we start getting all these Epstein-Barr symptoms. And then we get these autoimmune diagnoses. You can end up with any kind of diagnosis. Lupus and RA and neurological Lyme and fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. And people don't realize this is all Epstein-Barr related, and it's stage 4 Epstein-Barr. This is neurological symptoms caused by Epstein-Barr. So what are we going to do about it? This is stage 4. We got to learn to kill the bug. No one knows how to do that. The reason why so many people got their lives back with medical medium information, the reason why lives were saved around the world, the reason why when it was first published and this information got out there, people were like, oh my God, I know what's wrong with me. I can't believe it. I can't believe this. And the reason why they're learning now, like what's happening now, like because of the plague, the reactivated Epstein-Barr comes from medical medium information, right? People are like, oh my God. It's like, I know the answers now. So what do? The one thing about the MM info for getting our lives back is you not only know the cause, but you know what to do to take it to the level you need to go to the heal? Like, how do I crush the Epstein Barr? I have EBV. I'm the one with lupus. I'm the one with fibro. I'm the one with eczema. I'm the one with these conditions. How do I destroy this Epstein Barr? How do I take it down? How do I get my life back? I got the dizziness. I got the ringing in the ears. I got the pain in the body. I got the fatigue. Like, how do I get my life back? I didn't know it was Epstein Barr. Not only did I not know it was Epstein Barr, I didn't know you can kill it. It's critical to know that you can kill it. If anybody's asking about pandemic info or anything like that, I talk about reactivated EBV in this book right here where it was published first, medical medium publication. The deal is like there's something we can do for it and about it. So let's get into it right now. How does anybody know how to knock down EBV out there when there's nothing out there that can help anybody figure that out? They don't know what kills off EBV. They didn't even know EBV causes all these problems I just ran by you guys. But what I have seen from the source of information that I was blessed to have starting since age 4 was I've seen miraculous results when you use specific things for these conditions when you're going after EBV. And so I talk about this. So let's go into some basics right here. If I had Epstein Barr and I was struggling and suffering and I had the thyroid problems and I had all these other conditions and I had the ringing in the ears and I had the dizziness and I had the aches and pains and the fatigue and I had even more than that, the eczema, psoriasis, or whatever it is, all combined, or an autoimmune diagnosis, then I'd be doing some really good stuff here. W. Green says, well, you've helped me to fix all the boat rocking, anxiety, and tinnitus. Bless your heart. So glad you're here. Yeah, age 4. Age 4. So what I've learned, okay, because I'm a student is what I am, right? I'm a student of the source of information, the source that since age 4 has been teaching me. I'm a student and a messenger is what I am. And so all I can do is tell you what has worked, what the information that was delivered to me, how it helps so many people. And that's why the MM Info has the street cred. That's why it has the street credibility. That's why it's known out there in the world, because it works, right? I'm the messenger for it, but it works. So what do? So if I had Epstein Barr and I was suffering and struggling, I'd make sure I was on zinc. Been 35 plus years trying to teach people to take zinc, right? It's critical. That's what I would do. You ask your doctor what's right for you. I'm just going to tell you, if I had Epstein Barr, I'd be taking a liquid zinc sulfate. This is the best one. This is the Vimergy. I'm not sponsored, but it's a Vimergy. V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY. Vimergy.com. That's the zinc I would take. There's no additives. There's nothing like that in there. It's the best stuff there is. I would take Golden Seal is what I would do. Like for me, if that was happening to me and I had all these problems, I'd be doing 4 dropperfuls twice a day. And I'd be doing that periodically. But I got protocols in the book. I'd be doing 2 dropperfuls twice a day. If I was somebody, maybe I would do 1, but I would do a little something. Maybe you're somebody that doesn't take any supplements. You do 6 tiny drops twice a day. But that's what I would do, right? That's what I would do. I would take licorice root periodically. Ask your doctor what's right for you. I'm just telling you what I would do and what I recommend my loved ones and friends. I would do licorice root. And the quality matters, because if you don't have the right stuff, you can't knock down that EBV. It takes the right things to knock down and crush that bug. Yeah, if you don't have the right things, then you work with other stuff. You work with protocols like the foods. You take it on that angle. The one thing about medical medium information is that you can literally start with celery juice and start knocking down bugs. You might be so sick, though, and have so many bugs going on for so long, you might need a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then you take it to the next level, to the next level. I see a lot of people, Jennifer says quercetin. Quercetin is a fine enough antioxidant, but you'll see it's not on the list of things because it doesn't knock down Epstein Barr. So what it does, though, is the vitamin C. That's critical, right? That's critical. So that's a really important key right there. You'll see a lot of times out there what people have done over the years. If they've taken medical medium information from the books, a lot of doctors, right? And they've used it so it's given them a platform. And then, like a lot of internet doctors that are selling a lot of things and stuff like that, gives them a platform. And then they'll sell quercetin, but quercetin doesn't knock down Epstein Barr. It doesn't do what it's not enough to really knock down Epstein Barr. But the vitamin C is, right? So that's the micro C, the one that really is gentle and powerful, right? That's the Vimergy. If anybody wants to know right there, that's Vimergy.com. I'm not sponsored. It's just the stuff that works. V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY, Vimergy.com, right? Lysine. It's critical. Epstein Barr is a herpetic family virus. So it's the herpes family. That's what it is. And a lot of people that have EBV also have simplex. They got the fever blisters. They got the shingles viruses. They got HHV6. They got cytomegalovirus. So Lysine's critical. It's critical to knock down that Epstein Barr or anything else in the herpetic family. That's another aspect that has to be there, another piece. By the way, Vimergy came out with that elderberry syrup, which is insane. There's nothing like it out there. I mean, it's incredible. It's the only elderberry syrup that has a mulberry extract in there and vitamin C and a mulberry extract. So that's something that's mind-blowing right there. I just told a family member that for their kids, they should be doing a couple of teaspoons every single day when they're not sick of the elderberry syrup as an immune system support right now. Now that we're going into all the flus, that whole thing, and we're going into that time of the year through the winter in a lot of places. So I got all my friends, I got my family members, friends, everybody I know. I got them on the elderberry syrup, like 1 teaspoon for maintenance every single day or twice a day, 2 teaspoons. Their children, 1 to 2 teaspoons, right? You ask your doctor what's right for you. But that's what I have with family and friends. And that's great too. And it's helpful for Epstein Barr, which is really incredible, right? So Vimergy came out with a new product right here. Now, it doesn't look like it's new because it's lemon balm. So it's just like the lemon balm here, but this is a 10-to-1 ratio. Highly, highly potent. So if I had dizziness and vertigo and tinnitus and aches and pains and fatigue and anxiety and depression and anything else that was neurological, I would be doing that one right there too. So I would be doing the 10-to-1 ratio as well. It's really potent, right? So they just keep on upping their game. All their stuff's incredible, but they up their game. Incredible for anything Epstein Barr. Amy Batchelor, all these supplements are wonderful, easy to take and gentle on the gut. They really are, Amy, they really are gentle. That's one of the greatest reasons why I love them. I'm super sensitive and do well with all of them. Thank you, Anthony. Amy, thanks. You're the greatest. Bless your heart, Amy. So low quality supplements gives good quality supplements a bad rap and a bad name. So many people are burned so bad from the bad stuff that the low quality stuff ruins it for people because then they just won't even try the good stuff. They won't even know. John Smith, they went from 4-to-1 to 10-to-1 and didn't raise the price. And that's really something. It is. And the thing is with it, yeah, I know. They're probably hurting from that one too. Exactly. But other companies, they would never do that. Other companies would never do that. Things with Vimergy actually care, and that's the difference. They actually care, you know. So, but the bottom line is, this is one potent form of like relief I'm offering friends that have high anxiety. it's just, they take it around with them all the time, and they're working on their Epstein Barr. They're working and knocking down their Epstein Barr. Recently, I just had a couple of old friends reach out, and they're like, "Oh my God, I should have listened to you 20 years ago. I never did anything for my Epstein Barr. Now I got the Hashimoto's. I got all these other problems. It's like, Anthony, I got this, I got that wrong with me. They don't know what's going on with my liver now, and I don't feel good. Now I have autoimmune." And that's what they're saying. And now I got all these different problems. I got numbness, and I got tingles in weird places. And I'm like, look, get on the 10-to-1, get on your zinc, get on your licorice. Okay, all these things matter. All these things matter. Tests for Epstein-Barr do not always show up. So if you have the Epstein-Barr, the test may not show up because the Epstein-Barr technically has to be in the blood for it to really ring and pick off. And the virus loves to sit inside organs and hide out in the thyroid and the different organs. That's why it's really hard. I explained that in detail of where the confusion is with Epstein-Barr. You guys, I'm going to talk about Epstein-Barr more. I'm heading off to Instagram, and I'm turning TikTok back on. I'm turning Telegram back on. I'm heading off to Instagram. If you don't have the information, arm yourself with the information to protect yourself. Make sure you have a copy. Go to the library if you don't want to go to Amazon and get it on sale. Go to the library, get it for free. Allison Yogaland, hey, I can't imagine if I never had listened to you. You have saved my life over and over again. Alice, thank you for being here. Dr. Fawn, MD, yes, tests are unreliable. You take blood, not organ cells, to test. Blood tests are a snapshot in time. My God, that's wise. That's wise information from a medical doctor right there, an incredible MD, Dr. Fawn. By the way, I'm honored you're here, Dr. Fawn, truly honored, just so you know. So, you guys, I'm going to talk more about protocols for Epstein-Barr on Instagram. So I'm going to head off to Instagram in a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk about more about the protocols and stuff like that. We're going to run through the stages again. Maybe we'll talk about some different things with it. And I'm excited to help in any way I can. I love you guys. And oh, by the way, did any of you guys catch baking the cookies? I baked all the cookies. I baked the sugar cookies today. And I baked the I made the raspberry thumbprint cookies on Amazon Live on the Medical Medium Cooking Show. It's a different show, you guys. It's an entirely different show. The link is in profile. The link is in the description. You might want to follow me on that Amazon Live show because it's the Medical Medium Cooking Show Live, and it's really cool. And follow my newsletter. You guys on TikTok, if you haven't signed up to my newsletter, please do if you can, okay? My newsletter is at medicalmedium.com. And sign up to my newsletter so you know what I'm doing, know when the Amazon Lives are, know when my lives are. The link is in profile. Link is in the description. So check out that. Check out my Amazon Live Medical Medium Cooking Show. You guys, I'm trying to do everything I can to help you guys in any way possible. Because it matters. I don't like knowing you guys are suffering in any way. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to go on IG in a few minutes. I'll see you